On January 19th, I watched Trapped in Paradise, which came out in 1994. I was really hoping this would turn out to be one of those magical hidden gems that I've found before by clicking around on IMDb or trying some random suggestion from a friend. But sometimes there's a good reason a movie goes under the radar. Even with a trio of actors that I've enjoyed before, in Dana Carvey, Jon Lovitz, and Nicolas Cage, there just wasn't enough of a story here to keep me interested. The three play a set of brothers, Cage being the slightly less criminal of the three, as it starts with him picking up the other two as they're released from prison. I could pretty much spoil the entire plot in a few sentences, so I'll just say they plan to rob a bank, and as their plan begins to unfold, the outcome can be seen coming from miles away, because it's so cliche and there's some really obvious foreshadowing. The predictability alone wouldn't be a problem though, because a lot of funny movies have very predictable plots, but this was barely even a comedy. There's too many extra plot lines in the second half, and even though it was barely even 2 hours, the pacing makes it feel a lot longer. The cast alone could have made this into such a great comedy, and they're responsible for most of the laughs, doing little extra things to improve on a pretty bland script. Jon Lovitz and Nick Cage have some standout moments that generate some genuine laughs with almost nothing to work with on the page, so the potential was clearly there. But the plot ultimately focuses too much on the citizens of Paradise, and none of the characters developed there are really worth it in the end. Richard Jenkins is another one of those actors that I always seem to enjoy. He played the father in Step Brothers. But his presence here as the lead cop is one of the only things helping to give the chase between the cops and the robbers any real legitimacy. But even there just isn't enough in the story to make it compelling. Beyond the simplest terms, his character is obviously going to be involved in the ending, but it just ends up serving to make him look like a really ineffective cop, and not even in a funny way. I kept wanting to like this more than I did, but I could never get past the feeling that this was more of a straight-to-VHS B movie that these guys threw together over a weekend. I ended up looking up George Gallo, who wrote and directed this one, and he's also the writer behind all the Bad Boys movies, and Midnight Run, so I've clearly enjoyed his work before, but this one doesn't live up to those. There's just too many better bank robbery movies, particularly from the 90s, but I'm still glad I checked this one out. The cast and plot alone was always going to be enough to spark my interest. But if you only like to watch the best movies, this one's probably not for you. I gave it a 4 out of 10, and its current list position for me is 1028. Thanks for watching.